5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
And I'm here. Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night, good day, goodbye. How the devil are you? Somewhere in the world, one of those will apply to you. It's FA Cup weekend, so got it out of mothballs. Obviously, this means a lot when it comes to Leicester and the FA Cup. And welcome along to the post-January transfer window Leicester City world as run by Ruud van Nistelrooy. This was the window when he was going to get all these players in he wanted. It would be his team. Yeah, it didn't quite work out like that, did it? It's the preview show. Manchester United tomorrow night, live. We're going to get stuffed, aren't we? Brothers, how the devil are you, sir?
I'm a lot better. You reminded me that we've got a game tomorrow.
God. I daren't, to be honest. I daren't even think about it. I mean, are we any better off than we were pre-January transfer window?
Literally by about 5%. Because we made one signing, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't like percentages at school, but out of the 6 signings that he wanted, the 5 afterwards, he got 1 out of 6. So I don't know. What's that? 10%, 15%. So we're about that much better than we were because we actually have a right back now.
Who wasn't playing? He played a left back in preference to playing a right back.
Well, if you're ever going to give him a chance to settle into the squad, this is the game, isn't it? Although there was some bit of interesting news that came out through his press conference, which we'll get into in a bit. If you're interested, he might be willing to say, well, if I can't get the players brought in, I'm going to have to bring the players in from the youth. That's all I'm going to say, Chris.
Okay, we had... how old is Will Alves?
Pass next question.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's 19, 20, 21. He could not
he's
even
one of
get
them free ages, Chris.
Sorry?
He's definitely one of them free ages.
Yes, I'm covering myself here. But look, he could not even make it onto the substitutes bench. So all this talk, and he's actually confirmed that the 2 youth players whose names bypass me at the moment.
Jake Evans is one of them.
Jake Evans and Jeremy Munger.
Yeah.
One of them's only 15. The only time they're going to get on the pitch is if it's like 8-0 down.
Well,
Joke.
Just to confirm as well, Will Alves is 19 years of age.
Right.
Well,
if a 19-year-old who's supposed to be the next best thing from sliced bread can't even get on the bench, a 15 and 16-year-old who's going to put them on the bench, he's basically taking us for fucking idiots. And all he's doing is I'll show them that what I mean. It will still be the same 11 total and utter wankers, and we'll come to your team later, obviously, but the 11 same wankers that will be put out, that will play awful and will get stuffed.
I mean, that most likely will be the case, but this is sort of like the stage of their development that Braybrooke and Will Alves had when they were on the bench for Europa League. It's integrating into the first team, Chris. It's a different level. It's a different kettle of fish. Not just the persona you're around and the personalities you're around, but the different levels of training, the intensity of it, being a part of that. So when they are eventually ready to step up, and look, you're right, Chris. If we're 5-0 down or whatever, they'll probably get chucked on with 10 minutes to go. It wouldn't be too dissimilar to any youth product we've had come through our rankings. In fact, the only one that bypasses that exception is Luke Thomas, and that's because we had no choice, because we literally didn't even have a right back to play left back, did we, Chris? We had no choice.
No.
I will agree with the comment that's just come up though. Alves did have a awful ACL injury along with Braybrooke, so their development was hindered by a year, which is probably, in an ideal world, Chris, they would have gone out on loan during that period, maybe made a couple of first-team appearances at some point, and would have integrated in over the championship season, when really that was the season for their recovery, because they had a lot of setbacks with like the pair of them as well. So,
see, I will disagree with you there, because I would say, I will, yeah, I'm going to. Do you believe you me? Look, we have been playing, we lost 7 games on the trot, playing the same losers every week that didn't deserve to wear the Leicester City shirt. There were actually, what's the saying, that even Dick Turpin wore a mask? You know what I mean? And these guys are robbing a living from us, and they're that rubbish, but Rude stuck with them and didn't play with a fully fit Alves. These players, if I was Derby Munger or Jake Evans, I'd be sat there thinking, Mum, I'm in the squad on Saturday. And your dad would walk over and go, look, son, this is Leicester City. What they'll do is they'll put you on the bench for a couple of days. Don't even think about getting onto the pitch. Wait till you're 17 and then you'll just disappear again. You'll be sent out on loan possibly somewhere. You'll never see the Premier League again. Don't even get excited about that.
No.
That's what's happened with Braybrooke and Alves, injury or not.
Yeah, but again, you've got to rebuild them. They've got to rebuild their muscles and their legs. ACL is a horrible injury to recover from. And unfortunately, Chris, well, fortunately for them, age was on their side. They're 19 and 20. I just double-checked Sammy Braybrooke's age. So their recovery and their ability to regain natural fitness and strength and that will be a plus side because of their youth age. But also, Chris, apart from, like I say, Thomas, who was chucked in at the deep end because we had no choice, we had no options, it's very difficult for a player of that age to really get in with that setback. I feel that if they hadn't had them injuries, we would be talking about Sammy Braybrooke and Alves being first-team players for Leicester. I think that is still the intention with the club, which is why they're going out. And they're not going to League 1 and 2 anymore, Chris, either. They're going to Cardiff in the Championship. They're going to,
Scotland.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah. I was just about to say, okay, it's not a glamorous league, but it is still professional men's football they're playing out there. Even if it is Sunday League equivalent, they're still getting kicked about by 30-year-old professional footballers that are still on 10 times, if not 20 times more money than they are. So, look, maybe if the useless sacks of shite inevitably get us relegated, which it looks almost certain to happen, despite that blip at Spurs where Spurs just Spursed us and let us have 3 points. Maybe the idea is, well, at least they'll be prepared for next year. I would like to have seen them both be recalled and given the chance. The problem is, Chris, with today's football, and I agree with you entirely in terms of how useless a lot of these players have been. I bet Kate never thought she'd be saying thank fucking Dee Dee's back in the team. after what she was saying about him at the start. But at that point is, Chris, these players won't be here next season, and Leicester have got to pull off a miracle and be able to sell them. I hope we're not stuck with them until an embargo's lifted, and then try and sell them and get a lot of money pumped back into the club they wasted on them.
I think with the embargo, you're allowed to sell, you're just not allowed to buy.
Oh yeah, well then happy days. You know what? I'm already offering Oliver Skip out for a Twix on a club card. You can have the points and all. I don't care about that. But you
don't like Oliver Skip. Oliver Skip to you is my Devakova Reed, isn't he?
He really is, Chris. Because by start, I was always on the defence with Harry Maguire with Man U fans. I was saying it's not his fault that we valued him at 80 million and you caved and paid it. Harry Maguire never has been and never will be an £80 million defender, just as Oliver Skip is not a £25 million midfielder. In fact, Chris, if you said we paid 2.5 million and we actually didn't see the decimal point in the deal, I still reckon we would have overpaid on him. Because if you're saying, and rightly so, Chris, that the bag of garbage that is Harry Winks is still getting in that team, and Oliver Skip's fifth choice midfielder behind Samari and injured Ndidi and Harry Winks, how bad is he?
Yeah, no, I get that. The point there that Rai says, does Michael Golding actually exist? I don't know. I don't
know. I don't know if we've just had a Mandela effect and we never actually got Michael Golding. You know, like that. Like, what's the name they give it to writers that use like a fake name?
Not a pseudonym.
Pseudonym. Yeah. I reckon that was just done, and we've conned PSR. Chelsea and Enzo went, look, just put Michael Golding 5 million, and here's a bog standard stock photo of a bloke wearing a Chelsea shirt, and pretend he exists, and that'll help you with your FFP.
How must Golding feel though? Sat there tonight thinking, bloody hell, a 15-year-old is getting into the squad. I cost him 5 million, and I haven't seen anything near the first. I don't even think he's been on the bench, has he?
No, he's not, and he's currently playing for the under-23s, Chris, and it gets worse. The under-23
got injured.
You what?
Don't tell me he's got injured an ACL.
No. I'd have to see how many games they played this season, but I'm guessing it's a lot. Being since the season kind of runs with that. Guess how many games he's played?
2.
Oh, close, double it.
4.
Yeah.
Hang on, I need a calculator.
He's played 4 matches, getting 1 goal, 1 assist, and 1 yellow card. But I think I know why he's not been playing, Chris. I've just realised this. He's obviously spilt the beans on something because his middle name is Hines. No, that's awful, I know, but genuinely, Michael Hines.
Don't you ever criticise one of my jokes again.
I don't know if you can read it, Chris. Genuinely, his middle name
Michael
is
Hines Golding, yeah. Oh, I bet he's a saucy chap.
You what?
I said, I bet he's a saucy chap.
I bet he is. I bet his family's baked all the time. That's why he's. Yeah.
Right. Let me just say, your picture there, you look incredibly handsome and young.
I don't know what happened. I don't know where you got that picture from.
It is AI. Let me just say, but it just gives
you must have used the blind version for hours, then, mate. You've only got one chin on that picture.
Oh, fuck off. Mind you, you're probably not wrong. So there we go. We're up at Old Trafford on Friday. That's tomorrow. Kickoff is 8 o'clock for the match. The watch along here will be starting from 7:30. Brad, I think I put the wrong picture up of Old Trafford there, haven't I, Brad?
No, that is a picture of the inaugural leaky roof.
Yeah. Brad's not going to be with us tomorrow night because he's spending some time with his lady.
I certainly am.
And I actually nipped down to Betfred at lunchtime, and I put the fact that you'll score more than Vardy will. Sorry, mate. Join us. Sorry. Join us tomorrow.
She's not in at the moment. I know that, so she didn't hear it.
No, don't tell her not to play it back. Right, let's have a look at tomorrow night's game. I've lost faith with Ruud van Nistelrooy. We've said this often, that the sign of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And that is all that Ruud van Nistelrooy has done. Are we any better off under Ruud van Nistelrooy than we were under Steve Cooper?
No.
What has Ruud van Nistelrooy brought to this club?
Wayo Koulibaly. That's about all he's literally brought, because he hasn't brought anything else, Chris. And like I said, I'm a little bit, I'm very concerned, because when I'm going to take us back to another harrowing season that I can only see ending the same way this time around again, sadly. Brendan Rodgers, after 3 fairly successful seasons, I know, but let's remember, Chris, after what was 3 relatively successful seasons in charge of Leicester, taking us all the way to European semi-final, ended up losing to the team that went on to win it. Back-to-back 5th place finishes. I know people say that Leicester bottled 4th place. Well, we really had no right to be there, just like a certain Nottingham Forest and Brentford, not Brentford, Bournemouth have this season, but we were there. Something disastrous happened, Chris. And unfortunately, and we probably understand at the time that because he'd won us an FA Cup and done so well for us, the owners didn't pull the trigger quick enough. And when they pulled the trigger, Brendan reincarnated himself as his own assistant. And for 3 games, 2 very pivotal games at the time as well at home, Bournemouth, I believe, and I can't remember who the other one was against, but it was 2 home games where his assistant, Adam Sadler, not Adam Sandler, but it was because it really was no joke. All right, it wasn't the comedian actor. It was apparently not Brendan, but I felt like it was. He didn't change anything, did he, Chris? Same formation, same frustrating style of play, and the same outcome. We lost both them games, and that proved in the end, Chris, whether you say we deserve to have gone down or not, in the end, that's what cost. That was the final nail in the coffin. Dean Smith came in with the beloved, rest in peace, God rest his soul, 2-ball shaky, and tried his best, and it nearly worked. That's fair. It did nearly work. He got a few results and whatnot.
No difference went down on, I think.
The coffin came from him doing nothing different. What's Ruud done different to Cooper? Same formation, same style of play. Apart from continuing the redemption arc with Samari getting back in the team, and well deserved, maybe let's all admit that.
But that started under Cooper, didn't it?
Well, that was the desperate man's attempt to try and get players in that he'd left out to save his ass. A lot of managers do that. When the proverbial hits the fan and they've got no support in that dressing room, or the key players, if you will, are seemingly not supporting you. Although it was rumoured that Jamie Vardy wasn't one of them players. He was actually happy with Cooper as manager. You try everybody. You kind of go, well, I might as well give you a go because I've not seen what you can do yet. So he kind of thrived off that. But yeah, you want somebody to come in and say, right, I'm going to let you play that way for a couple of weeks, because it was a busy period when he first came in, didn't he? He had a day. He had a day for a game, and then 3 days later we were playing again. What you want to see after that, Chris, is him going, okay, we've done that. I've tried a few things to make you a bit sturdier in that way. It hasn't really worked. Things have improved a bit. Now I'm going to take it into this, and I want you to do this, and I want to set up like this, and I want us to play like this. And we just haven't seen it, Chris. And it baffles me that one of his biggest backings in a journalistic world was really positive about him, and then came out with it's Rude's way or the highway. Well, somebody take me off the highway, stop the car, Rude, drop me off here, mate. I'll walk the rest of the way, because you drive. All you've done is overtake Cooper, who's stalled and broke down because you kicked him out the door, and you've agreed to go exactly the way he was planning on going anyway. And what's worrying, Chris, is we've sat here and said we might have a few more points if we kept Cooper. That's what worries me more.
That's the thing. And surely a manager, I don't know what he was promised, whether he was promised a load of signings or not, but this was going to be the window when he got his own team in. And then what happened? Well, nothing. So what he's got to surely look at and go is, right, the players I've got aren't working with the system I'm playing. So he's got to literally fit the team into a selection or a formation that works for them.
Well, you think that, Chris, but again, we're sat in that same dilemma where no matter what seems to happen, no matter who we bring in to be the first team manager, they all equate to individual needs and not the teams. It just absolutely baffles me that we have put more and more weight and more expectation on a 38-year-old Jamie Vardy, because we refuse point blank, and it cost Rodgers in the end, right? When he stopped refusing to play two strikers or rotating Jamie Vardy out and stick with Jamie Vardy all the way, he completely capitulated for him. And we cannot do that. We do not have your Mahrez's, your Drinkwaters, your Albrightons, your Kantes, your Robert Hooves and your Morgans and etc. to back up that going forward. We do not have that quality behind our front line. So what we need to do is we need to look at our middle, look at our defence, and we need to go, right, what's the best way these players play? Okay, that's the best way. How can I get the ultimate max out of my midfield and defence, integrating together in defence and attack to get the best results on the pitch? That's the way I do it. I've learned that from training. Okay, that's what I'm going to do going forward. I know we use the term armchair managers, and you know we all think we're managers when we come up with our fancy formations as a team, and you'll see mine later. Guys, I was restricted to the Rude formation. I wouldn't use it otherwise. But things need to change. And as we've seen in the past, Chris, we've seen in Everton, he ripped us to shreds, right? He has the same team that was left to him by Sean Dyche, and he's tweaked how they play. He's noticed the strengths in the team. You know, Sean Dyche was very much a marshalled man. Sit back, don't concede, nick a goal, try and win it 1-0 or take the point. That's the Sean Dyche way. What David Moyes instantly did is he went, right, you clowns, show me what you're actually capable of, because I don't believe I don't believe you're relegation fodder. What the hell is going on here? Okay, I see what you're all capable of. I see what your weaknesses are. This is how we're going to play. I don't know, Everton fan, I don't know if he's in, but Everton fans might be able to confirm if he's even changed his shape since Sean Dyche is there. But he's still got the same so-called clowns that we were laughing at for being in the relegation battle with us that are now, 7-8 points clear of us?
Indeed.
So,
Indeed. Yeah. We will see how this develops. The other guy, Ruben Amorim, apparently, if you looked at the Premier League table since he became Manchester United manager, Manchester United would be sat in 15th.
That's some shred of comfort to know that we're not the only club having a disastrous season. And on scales, theirs is far worse than us because they should be at least 10 places higher than they are. But the matter of the fact is, Chris, as funny as it is that they keep losing and they've actually somehow got worse since Erik ten Hag was replaced, which is even more brilliant, they're still going to be a Premier League team next season, let's face it. Because even if Wolves go on a surge and escape from us and Everton keep going on a surge and Spurs keep nicking wins here and there and Man U still kept losing, Ipswich, Leicester and Southampton are still going to not be good enough to catch up points and be consistent enough. So it's funny, but they're going to have the last laugh when Leicester have an R next to their name and they still have a Premier League and still have a chance to sort the shit out, proverbially, if you will.
But I think Man United, I've said this so many times, have to accept that it's for them, from the outside, it's not just a case of changing the manager. It's not just a case of going out and buying a £50 million player. There's so much, and we joked about the roof early, but there's so much wrong, isn't there, with the with the club, that it's going to take more than... I don't know why Man United are surprised, because they seem to, and they called us entitled. I don't think you can get anybody more entitled than Manchester United fans, because they seem to think because they were successful under one manager, which is what it's been, that they are entitled to be up there. It's taken Liverpool, was it 23 years to get back and win another Premier League?
30 odd years.
Yeah, and so why do they think that they're suddenly, and let's be honest with you, and look, Alex Ferguson, brilliant manager, probably the best manager there's ever been, certainly in this country. He knew when to get out. He got out and he left David Moyes a hot potato. So, why are they surprised that, it's taking, how long is it since they won a trophy? 10 years, something like that? It's nothing really, is it?
No, it's not. And again, this that period of their history is ingrained into both old and new generations. It's probably why the new generation supports Manchester United, because they're just expecting that that's going to become a norm and return as soon as it happens. The thing is, Chris, they've selfishly and stupidly passed up the opportunity to have had that little blip and then maintained and rebuilt that image of fierce title challengers and clubs that, and a club that will maintain the ability to win trophies. I know last year they somehow, definitely not a bribe, definitely not a fix, beat Coventry in the semi-final of FA Cup to go on and then miraculously beat Man City to win that. Absolutely scummed Coventry out of the final. Definitely didn't cheat.
That's what you got there, Brad. You need to get that sorted.
I feel really ill all of a sudden. Sorry, but my point is, Chris, they actually had that, right? And this shows you the arrogance that not just the potential parts of the fan base had. And not all of them do. I'm not saying it's all Man United fans. It's just a particular part of the fan base have, but also the silly arse American Glazers must have had, because. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, that they had Zlatan Ibrahimovic at the club.
Yes.
They had, they stupidly spent 80 million to bring back a player that Fergie said was no good for free, but they had some quality players in that team aside. And there was one manager that managed to get a tune out of them. So much so, Chris, and I'm going to see if we're going to have a little quiz here, Chris, see if you can guess the manager I'm on about here. He managed Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I think he managed him twice in his career, once at Inter Milan. He helped Manchester United win their first European silverware since God knows when. No. Raise your hand and wait till the teacher's finished speaking.
I'm just raising my hand and waiting.
Yeah, he helped Manchester United win their first European trophy since God knows when, probably since Ferguson had helped them lift one. And they finished second in the league behind a newly developed, rampant Manchester City, and that wasn't deemed good enough and sacked him. Come on, Chris. Do you know that manager?
Well, I've got to say, you could have been describing almost Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because, of course, he got them second and he got them to a European final. However, I don't believe it's him. I do believe you may be talking about him that we refer to as the special one, Mr. Jose Mourinho.
I am indeed, Chris. You're very true with your facts about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. But yes, the big difference there was he had Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Didn't need to bring back Cristiano Ronaldo to try and spice things up, who didn't help Manchester United out except for his own gain. And he won them the Europa League and got them second, and that wasn't deemed good enough. And any Manchester United fan out there snap their arm off to bring him back and have that happen to them next season? Because if I was in their shoes, I would be snapping their arms off. I'd be going down for murder to bring something like that back at the club. He's got that depressing for him right now.
I think the thing that I'm looking at this, though, is that no matter how bad we think Manchester United are at the moment, and by their own standards, they are bad, they're still going to have too much for us.
Oh, yeah, they're going to batter us about 6-0. Penandes is going to get about 2 penalties because Vestergaard will fall over being so slow. And
let's not forget that there's no VAR in this round still, because we've got clubs there that don't have VAR still in the competition. And it's at Old Trafford. So I'm guessing Man United will, what do you reckon, 2-3 penalties?
Oh, they'll have more penalties than a penalty shootout, mate. Penandes will be going like this in the air and getting a penalty. He'll be rolling around like this in the box getting a penalty. He'll say the word penalty and get a penalty. He's a creepy little rat. I can't. He is physically sick when he's.
The funny thing was, when I watched Man United the other day, and as you know, my brother-in-law and my nephews are Man United fans. I was saying what I felt against them. I said what I felt about Bruno Fernandes, and they didn't argue with me.
Yeah, it's just a rat face. I can't stand the guy.
Yeah. Right, last time out, neither of us did very well. One of us did better than the other one, in that we obviously lost 4-0 to Everton. Man United lost 2-0 to Crystal Palace. Neither of us did very well in the prediction league last week. Thank God there's a week off. But when you look at that, I mean, that Man United game, that Everton-Leicester City game, we were totally shit. Anything that, I mean, the players didn't come over and applaud the fans. I think only Ayew did at the end. None of them deserve to wear the shirt. They're, like I say, they're highway robbers for taking money and pretending that they're actually earning it. I really think that Rude should be making them sit down and watch, not necessarily just this channel, all the Leicester channels that are saying how shit they are, and let them realise what we think. I mean, obviously, they hear the fans in the stadium, but I don't know if they know how little we think of them at the moment.
No, that's sadly the way football's gone. Because I don't think any footballer cares what us fans really think, because they probably sit there and go, yeah, and if we win next week, you'll be singing our names and licking our asses. We don't really care. We don't give a shit that you think we're shit. Let me check my bank balance for me bothered statement. Oh, yeah, cheers. That's 86 grand gone into my bank account for losing 4-0. Or if you're Manchester United, we lost 2-0 to Palace. I'll only get 350 grand this week, not 400 grand for getting a point or winning a game. You. No, I don't care what you think, mate. And sadly, that's where football's gone, Chris. Gone and never will return the days where a hard-working bloke who you know, if he didn't have a successful or long period in football, when he retired at 30, we'd probably have to go back and do a full-time job because he wasn't earning huge amounts of money. Now they don't care enough. There is not any care out there, Chris, in the world.
Having watched those two games, and I did watch some of the Man United Crystal Palace one because I was with my brother-in-law, and I have to say, Man United, yes, we both lost, but at least Man United showed a little bit of fight.
Well, yeah. I mean, but then, Chris, I mean, we both did lose to relegation rivals. They were at home, we were away, and it doesn't make it any better. I'm just trying to just make myself feel better, I guess. But at least we didn't wait until the 64th minute to get to give ourselves false hope. Wout Faes and Vestergaard just chucked it straight away. They went, no, don't worry, we're not going to depress you for 70 minutes, then lose the game. We'll lose it in 6 minutes. Which is essentially what also Rude said in his press conference. At least they had the decency to be shit from the start. That Man U just tried to give Man U fans hope that they weren't completely shit, and they waited 64 minutes. No, it doesn't make you feel any better. Oh, I tried.
Fourth fastest goal in Premier League history, fastest goal ever for Everton. I mean, I'm sorry. They should hang their heads in shame. Really, Top should have given every Leicester fan a refund for that game.
Yeah, or like you said, Rude
fans. Bacon butty. I'm sorry. Yes, he's very good. Away fans, we'll give you breakfast. Well, breakfast is the bacon butty. Fuck off with your bacon butties. Bacon butties at quid. Look at this.
Yeah.
I read somewhere, and it was a journalist that wrote that they seem to think that they can just give out bottles of beer or water and bacon butties and think that we'll love them forevermore.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong, them gestures are always appreciated because we're probably one, if not the only ownership in the ground that does that for all the supporters. It's not just it's not just home supporters, it's away supporters, it's our away travel. Little things do get appreciated by us fans, but it needs to be more in the business front. We need to be seeing it, and we just didn't see that over January, Chris. It was harrowing, and the best way to punish the players, Chris. Well, you've seen my team. There is very few names that have stood in there, and not to ruin a position, get to it. But one is only kept their position because this should have been the game that he returned to, not the game that was important against Everton.
Yeah.
If that was me, Chris, after a performance like that, you see it at Sunday League, Chris, or Saturday leagues. A team gets humiliated 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, whatever, and the manager goes, do you know what you 11 are doing next Saturday or Sunday or whenever they play? You're going to stand on the sidelines. You're going to turn up. You're going to have your boots, your socks on, your coats, and you're not going to get a minute's football, but you turn up and you're going to watch these lot that have been waiting in the wings for their opportunity, and you're going to see why, and they're going to show you what it means to get an opportunity and take it by the scruff of a neck and work your knackers off.
Yeah.
Because realistically, Chris, none of them should be playing.
No, I agree. Ant says here, Arsenal go out of a cup against Newcastle and they've gone to Dubai today. Why I don't think they deserve it, and they come back before we play Leicester City. So obviously you're not in the cup, are you? I mean, I think you're at the FA Cup as well. Otherwise, you wouldn't be going to Dubai. But yeah, like you say, you get knocked out of a cup. Don't mind that. We'll be on the beach in a day or two.
Yeah, what is with this new fad that's been around? We did it. We've done it a few times, Chris, and it's been a thing for about 5 or more years.
Warm weather training, because they need the warm weather training because we play in such a hot, dry country.
Oh yeah, that must be it. I mean, it's not. It's got so that indoor arena that has underfloor heating that Leicester City first team can go and train on. That was spent millions of pounds on because
I don't know.
Well, me either, Chris. We're both
It'd
at a
be
loss
cheaper
there.
to fly everybody
I'm
over to
sure.
Dubai, wouldn't it? You know.
Yeah, you'd think using a facility you've already spent money on instead of spending thousands of pounds for first class flights. Because let's face it, it's not economy. They wouldn't be flying first class. Yeah, you know what I meant.
Yes.
You know what I meant.
Crash and I don't know to read that, but yeah, you're crazy. I think, but I jest. I know what you're saying. We played them twice at the back end of last year. Last time, I don't think we need reminding. 5-2 in the cup. At least I think we showed a bit of fight in that one. 3-0, and we even scored a goal for them, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we was brilliant in that game. That was chalk and cheese. So we somehow lost 5-2 in the cup and put in more of an effort than we did when we lost 3-0. And funny enough, Chris, same thing that sort of happened. We played the outfield players, didn't we? One who's maintained his position, Samare, but the rest of them were a bit makeshift. We hadn't played him much this season. They put in the effort, got beat 5-2, and then clueless Cooper went, oh no, I'll put all the first team back in that didn't play well, and hopefully they've learnt their lesson. And that's what happened. It'll be. I mean, if we play Man U on Friday with a very different 11, Chris, and we lose, but it's like 2-1 or 1-0 or extra time or whatever, and then the next weekend against Arsenal, he takes them all out and puts all the crap lot back in. I'm just going to go on. I'm going to go personally to King Power, grab Ruud van Nistelrooy by the face and go, now let's see who is really behind the mask and see if I can reveal Cooper. Because if that happens, I'm pretty convinced it's Scooby-Doo. And it's Cooper in the dugout still.
I mean, I would say that this could be another 9-0 incoming, but I don't think Manchester United are quite that good, but we are that bad. Should we have a comparison of the two teams?
Do we have to?
I know this will cheer us up. Not. Right, now I don't know how well you can say this, but I will read these through. This is the courtesy of Opta, but I picked out certain things that we could compare against. Shots on target. They've had 100. So if they're in green, they're better. So shots on target, 107. We've had 75. Home goals, they've scored 17. But away goals, we've scored 14. So, yeah, we could be in luck there.
Hey, they are. Leicester win then.
Passing accuracy, 84.6% for Man United, 81.84 for Leicester. So that's close. Tackles made, 499 to United, 476. So again, that's not a great difference there. Clearances, 407 for United, 585 for us. I think that does show how shit we are in defence because we're having to clear the ball more. Interceptions, 257 to 206 to Man United. Again, block shot, 64 for United, 121 for us, but I think that says more about how bad we are. 7 clean sheets for United, 1 for us. And possession loss, they've lost possession 322 times. We've lost possession 320. So there's not a lot of difference there. Looking at that, it doesn't look beyond the realms of possibility that something might be got.
Well, no, it isn't, because like you said, different in terms of the gap between the two clubs on the point system. But in terms of looking at, you know, especially the quality that they actually possess at their disposal and how bad their confidence is and how bad their form is, it's highly plausible that Leicester actually stands some form of a chance. And I'm glad we're not doing predictions because A, there's way too many fixtures to do predictions for the FA Cup.
Oh.
You what?
No. Do carry on.
I was going to say, it's a good job we're not doing predictions for the FA Cup because there's way too many fixtures. But there's that silly hope that thinks we can, we could actually get this, get something from it.
Yeah.
When in reality, we're expecting 4-0 Manchester United, but they have been so bad, Chris. If I was to predict something, I'd either go 0-0 or 3-3 because I just imagine that both teams are going to be so crap in front of goal or so leaky at the back. And it could be one of them.
Of course, it will be penalties, of course, if it's a draw.
Yes. Which...
extra time and then penalties.
Yeah, which in this aspect, I'm grateful for. But I hope there was a shift in percentage given to lower league clubs for the one-off fixture because I do think it's unfair that I know someone like Tamworth got the benefit of it, but had they got a replay, Chris, and been able to take 10,000 to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, you know what I mean? I just hope. I don't know, but I'd like to think there was.
I don't understand. I'm not necessarily for replays because there is too much football, but then let's cut out the FIFA World Cup.
Oh, you mean that cash cow friendly?
Club Cup, not the World Cup, the Club Cup. Let's get rid of that.
Cash cow glorified. Yeah.
The Carabao Cup. Why is there a two-legged semi-final?
Well, Chris, funny you should say that. Do you remember how the old League Cup used to be? You know, back when players didn't complain that there was too many games going on. Let me tell you. Let me take you back to the 90s, Chris, on a Coca-Cola Cup run, where Leicester City played both Scarborough and York City over 2 legs, Chris, in the early rounds. It wasn't till rounds 3 and 4, I think, that they stopped introducing 2-leg ties.
Indeed. But I suppose we were lower down the pyramid at that point.
No, Premier League, Chris. We were Premier League.
Were we? Okay.
Yeah, when we won
I know we beat Wimbledon in the second leg of the semi-final.
Yeah, we played
Wimbledon twice in
the semi-final.
But they don't even have away goals now. I just think...
Yeah, that was actually
give a bigger percentage. Give a bigger percentage to the away team. But if you're going to get rid of replays, get rid of the second fucking leg of the Carabao Cup, which is and I know we've won it a few times, but it is a complete and utter waste of space. And if anybody's wondering why I've actually compared the league seasons rather than the FA Cup, there was only one game in the FA Cup that we both played, so it wasn't worth doing. Yeah. This is where we are. Like you say, Man United, as bad as they are not going to be in a relegation battle. Leicester City down in 18th now, 2 points behind Wolves. We are 7 points behind Everton. Jesus. 8 points behind West Ham and Tottenham. I mean, we're done. I just can't see where any points are coming from that are going to get us out, because we've got end of February, March. It's our toughest time for the games we're playing.
Yeah, it is. And I've not seen anything to suggest that we're going to get enough points consistently, Chris. And that's the key to it. You know, consistency in any other circumstances, especially the top, would be win, 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 win. Maybe a draw, but win all the games. Consistency at the bottom can be win 1, draw 1, lose 2, win 1. You know what I mean? Because you're still saying, well, we picked up 7 points there, or we picked up 9 points out of them 5-6 games, whereas other teams only picked up 2. You know, all of a sudden you go from looking at Wolves Leicester to being where Man U are and thinking, well, we've got to, you know, it's weird how the mentality of the Football League goes, doesn't it, Chris? Because if you're 8 points off 7th, you feel like you can catch them because you're riding some momentum. But when you're 8 points off, Everton and Tottenham, you're already shutting them off, and your vision's just on Wolves, and that's it. Because that's the only club we've got a chance of catching right now.
It is. Home form on the last 4. Man United there lost 1, lost. Leicester on their away form, lost, 1 loss. So pretty much the same, to be honest with you. That doesn't really tell us anything we don't know. Now, coming up, And I know it does say Craig's team because Craig's normally doing this, but thank you, Brad, for stepping in. I didn't have time to do a new graphic for this bit of it. Honest with you, I forgot.
Yeah. That's how I'm going to look come the end of the season with the way Leicester are going anyway.
Yeah. And I have to say, in fairness to Craig, it is his anniversary today. So it was his birthday on Tuesday. It was his anniversary today. Happy anniversary, Craig. Again, more likely to score tonight than Leicester, I think. But we are coming to your team to face Manchester United. Right. Now, I'm going to look at this and we'll go through this row by row. Did Hermansen do enough against Everton to keep his place, or would you have bought Everson back before because it's the FA Cup? You've gone for Hermansen, obviously, haven't you? You know.
Yeah, I would have played Stolarczyk against Everton and then used Madsen to do this. I noticed a few posts going up. I'm going to call him out because it was a fair tweet and I didn't agree with it when I retweeted it. Jack from the Final Whistle, who comes on, you know, he's usually in the comments on this channel and we've done some work with him before. He put out a tweet about Wout Phases and Vestergaard's positioning for Everton's second goal, I think it was, where Beto just ran through the pair of them. I argued that had a fully fit and fully match fit Madsen played that game, he would have raced after his line, seen the danger and maybe been able to deal with it or potentially try to have beat Beto to the ball. However, a rusty, non-match fit Madsen felt it was safer to stay in his goal and get absolutely schooled than do that. So that's why I think everybody was under the impression that Stolarczyk, who deserved to keep his place against Everton, would have played against Everton after Spurs, and Madsen, who does need time and is our number one, as well as Stolarczyk's done whilst Mads has been recovering and out. He is seen as the number one. This would have been a game to reintroduce him to it.
But you are sticking with him after that Everton game.
Yeah, I would have put him in this game instead of Everton. As it is, you've given him that game. You're going to keep wanting to improve his match fitness, so keep him in goal for this.
Yes.
Which I feel sorry for Stolarczyk because I feel like he should be playing this game. He may still play it, but the way Rude's gone on about Mads, I feel like he's going to play him anyway. So
I think he is, and I agree with you 100%. I would have had Stolarczyk in the Everton game. Look, we probably still could have lost. Who knows? We probably would have done, in fairness. But I would have brought Hermansen back for this. But yes, I agree. If you brought him back now, you'd be stupid to change it. Yeah. Right, now then, very interesting, young brothers, is your back line. And the reason that we've gone for this formation, not because we love this formation. If it was me, I'd be going 4-4-2. You'd be going a different one. You'd be going that as well. But we know that whatever happens, this is the formation that Rude's going to be going for. So there's no point us picking a 4-4-2 because it isn't going to happen. So this is why we stick with this formation. Yeah, if he doesn't start Koulibaly at right back, I'm going to go down there and punch Ruud van Nistelrooy myself.
Oh, let me know, Chris. I'll be around Leicester at that time, so I might get on the bus into town and jump over onto the stadium roof to record it. I'd love to see you punch Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Because that, if he does, he's bought a right back and he continues. And I know, having said that, he might leave Justin at right back and put Koulibaly at left back. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me with this clown. It really wouldn't. Koulibaly is a right back who can play left back. Justin is a left back who can allegedly play right back, but play him in the main positions, especially now we've got a fucking right back, Ruud van Nistelrooy. I agree with you totally on that one. Akoli, I get that one as well, because I wouldn't have Faze anywhere near this team again. If ever I see Faze in a blue shirt, I'm going to start supporting Nottingham Forest. He is, out of a pile of shit players we've got, he's probably the shittest. Why he's still in that team, I don't know. A Coley, don't think he hasn't done well. He hasn't played as many games, so he can't have done as many cock-ups as Faze has done. So I agree with putting a Coley in. However, Brad. Connor Cody, the man who doesn't want to be here. The man who is trying to push a move through to his former club, who are in the relegation battle with us. And you've given him a start.
Yeah, I have, because the club made Connor Cody feel not wanted by even instigating the idea of a swap deal. And I think this has been blown drastically out of proportion. Chris, if you was a professional footballer and you was at Ipswich Town and your boyhood club was Leicester City, as it is, and Ipswich Town said, their manager went, right, I want to get a centre back in who I've got a chance of getting in because he's not getting in another team. Oh, I like the look of Craig Dawson, even though he's an old age pensioner. I'm going to offer my centre back, Chris, to swap with him. See if he'll want to swap and go back to his boyhood club. You snap their hands off to do it because, okay, if I'm not wanted here and I'm going to get a chance to go back to my old club, I would, Chris. I'd be like, yeah, I'm up for that move. If you don't want me here, that's absolutely fine. So I didn't even realise my camera wasn't on. I'd be like, yeah, okay, look, you've come to me and said, look, we don't want you. We're going to try and get Craig Dawson in. I'm going back to Leicester. All right, then, I'm all for it. If you don't see me having a future here, I go for it. I feel like the journalists have had a field day with being able to hang Cody out to dry.
I haven't seen this, but Ant told me that he's been told or read or whatever that Cody was pushing for the move.
Yeah, and my postman delivers post and his pet cat works there. Sorry, unless you're coming directly out the board, I don't care if Ant or if Luke or if you who stood outside the ground and heard a security guard say it. I don't listen to bullshit rubbish that players did this and players did that. Because let's put it this way, Chris. If Buonanotte wanted out of Leicester, would he have come on? Would he have come off the bench? No, I remember a certain.
You're not going to refuse if you're told to get off the bench. There's only a very few players that have ever refused to come on the
Carlos
pitch.
Tevez.
Yeah, I can say a very few.
But he came on, put a shirt on, put an effort in. If Coley was so shocked at being told off and acted like a child and asked Rudkin for demanded a move, why did he come off the bench and put an effort in and try and stop goals going in for us and try and salvage something? I just don't always believe, and I think it's so easy to twist things. Now, if it's true, and if someone
we'll never know, will we? We'll never know.
Exactly, and rightfully, we shouldn't know these sort of things. They should be hidden as much as possible. I still do not think that if a player is that much in the dirt and said that much, I don't think Chris, if someone at my workplace said, well, you said I did this wrong, even though I did do it wrong, I'm not doing any work this shift, I'm not going to ring you up. I'm not going to then go to my manager and go, oh, well, this person doesn't want to work here, doesn't want to do any work and refusing to do any more shifts. So can we have him in all next week, please? They're going to turn around and say, what's going on with him? Well, he's refusing to work and he doesn't care if he gets any more shifts. So either get rid of him or just stop giving him hours. Certain things I think are heat of the moment. There probably was a bust up. They probably did have an argy-bargy. And then he's cooled down. They've gone into training and he's gone, look, I said what I said. I stand by it. But I do think you're a good player. If you get your head down, prove me wrong, there is definitely a way into this team for you. I just don't even think you comprehend putting them on if it's rubbish and tarnished. Well, and the only other reason I went for Cody is look what the hell Everton did to Vestergaard. You know that weakness that Cooper said he had and he knew he had it? Well, he was absolutely exposed, worse than a rated 18 movie or a image of sexual content movie. It was more exposed than one of them, Chris, by the entirety of Everton and Goodison Park, right? For different reasons, Chris. If we're going to play a high line, Vestergaard can never play for Leicester again.
But can Cody? Because he's not exactly,
What other options have we got, Chris?
I hate to say it, Faze. Or, no, and I hate to say it because I can't stand Faze. I said that a few minutes ago.
Oh, no.
Even Justin at centre-back.
Look, Chris, I'm going to say this in the nicest way possible. Piss off.
What? He can play centre-back.
24 games complaining that Justin's not a right back playing right back. I'm not
No,
having
if you've got him on the left.
Back.
If you've got him as the left centre-back, it might not be too bad.
That's not saying if you play Madsen as a centre striker because he's in the centre of his goal, he'll know how to score him.
I think you're looking at Cody as like the lesser of two evils with Vestergaard.
I am, because he's got the leadership skills, and that's not that you can't. Just because all this happened doesn't mean he's not a leader. Doesn't mean he doesn't have the ability to lead the dressing room. And look, if he doesn't make the team and we don't see him and he sits alongside Edouard in the naughty corner, then fine. The sources were actually right. 1 out of 10. You're fine. Congratulations.
Yeah.
But if he's on the team or he's on the bench, I just can't fathom that you keep that person around if they're so toxic and so wanted out.
Yeah.
You need a leader, you need a strong player, and you need a defender in this team that's going to sit a couple of yards back while the other three push on.
Let me ask a question.
One of them
is he your captain because of we'll come up to the striker later, but is he therefore by default your captain?
No, my captain goes back to where it was a few years ago. Madsen.
Can't have keepers as captains. I'm sorry.
I know you don't like it, Chris, but we won't go on that debate because I argued for and you argued against it on that part.
To be honest with you, once you said that, I thought the only other person there would be Manson, and then you went and said it. Say hi to Bath Time, Man United fan. I saw somebody this morning might be playing the 15-year-old. Tell you what, mate, we might as well play the whole under 10s to be better than the players we've got at the moment.
Don't say that. Holding might get remembered.
Yeah. You're not turning on the Stretford End legend Rude already, are you? Do you mean Rude the Clown at Nistelrooy? Yes, we are. Yvonne's in. Hi, Yvonne. Of course, he's going to damage any future prospect if he doesn't. Indeed. When you apply for a new job, Brad, do you just refuse to go into work? Do you have any faith in Leicester to go and get a result tomorrow? Says Doug. Absolutely none at all. Bath Time saying it from a Man United point of view, and he's saying yes, he does. I don't know what you're drinking, Bath Time, but I'll have a couple of pints, please. I think you'll get a beating. Then Rude walks. Be interesting. If he walks, he's not going to get any money, but it's been done before. I tell you what, I'm gonna say this now. If Rude was to walk, I wouldn't cry.
No,
I really wouldn't. They're all having talking between each others. Should you not give a captaincy for a keeper, Brad? Well, yeah, we could discuss that. Johnny's in. Hi, Johnny. How are you, sir? And he says, when do we play? Tomorrow, 8 o'clock, 7:30 for the watch along on this channel.
Yeah. Just quickly to Doug.
Yeah. No, carry on.
I'm just going to bring up his comment again for you, Chris, so you don't lose track. I'll go back to Johnny's comment afterwards. Iker Casillas. Iker Casillas was Real Madrid's captain. Won numerous leagues and Champions Leagues as his captain. I would probably go on a list, and I could probably go on a list and find a load of goalkeepers that were successful captains. Oh, no, wait. Kasper Schmeichel won a Premier League and he was our captain. He won FA Cup as our captain.
No.
No, you're right. Where's Morgan? Sorry, with the Premier League. I'll take that back. But
the FA Cup, yes, the FA Cup
captain was Kasper Schmeichel.
Yeah.
European took us to the semi-final. Who was our captain? That was Kasper Schmeichel. There's been some pretty successful goalkeepers that are captains, mate. They just need a loud voice. Sorry, I'll put you back on the captain on the comment you were, but yeah, just
because there's been different comments since. It seems to be free to give captaincy to keepers in international football, but rare in club. Ray, if indeed he starts, will win tomorrow. Hi, Ray. Don't think he'll make that much difference, but Dino Zoft, Courtois. We should have had a few more signings, says Johnny. Yes, we should. Would you be surprised if we knock? Would you be surprised? Mate,
Chris,
it would be up there with the second coming of Christ.
Chris,
put it that way.
People saying about goalkeeper captains. I'm going to list you off just a few lists here, right? Gianluigi Buffon was a goalkeeping captain. Iker Casillas, who I mentioned, was a goalkeeper captain. There is a trophy named after this man for goalkeepers. Lev Yashin was a goalkeeper captain. Hugo Lloris was a goalkeeper captain. Manuel Neuer was a goalkeeper captain. And another Leicester legend was a goalkeeper captain, Peter Shilton. But goalkeepers don't make good captains.
That's all for international sides, isn't it?
That's clubs that would be Bayern Munich, that would be Tottenham Hotspur.
Shilton, I think, was England captain. He was never captain at Leicester.
But he might have been captain somewhere. But Hugo Lloris,
sorry, that's all right then. He must have been.
Well, I can't remember all the other clubs Shilton played for, so that's more your.
I am jesting.
I know. Yeah, you keep doing that, Chris. But yeah, I'm just saying, goalkeepers do make good captains. They need a voice on them, and if they've got a good voice, guess what? They make good captains.
Right. Moving on. To left back. Wow. Wow. I don't know what to say other than wow. Thomas, explain your thinking there.
There was literally only one reason for it. I want to rest JJ and Christensen. Give them a break. Give them a break. Take Christensen out. I
understand the break for James Justin because I think he needs, we'll give him a break from the crowd getting on his back. But why does Christensen need a break?
Because he's had to carry that whole entire left side because he's had a 34-year-old or 31-year-old or however old he is on the left wing until I put that left winger on there when we get to him in a minute. Well, in a few minutes. So he's had to run up and down that pitch, up and down, up and down, up and down, more times than a Duracell buddy on some illegal, medication. He must be knackered because the amount of runs he made with no endeavour because he never got the ball, the poor bloke needs a break. And I think this team, like I said, Chris, when I was making the over-exaggerated point, I feel like the main 11 need to sit in the stands on Friday night and watch some fresh bodies either take a pummeling or show them just what they can do when they're on the pitch.
Well, this is your team. I will agree to disagree. I agree with dropping Justin. Yeah, he does need the break. But I'm not sure about Luke Thomas.
All I'm going to say, Chris, we all remember that screamer he scored in the last time we played him in the cup.
I knew that. I was waiting for that. Right. I have to say, the two defensive midfielders, yeah, 100% agree. Indeed, he is fit. Now, whether it's a risk to throw him back in, if he's going to get injured, he'll get injured tomorrow night. If we save him for another 2 weeks until he's probably a little bit more match fit, he could easily get injured then as well. Put him on and maybe take him off after 45 or 60 minutes, depending whether he's flagging or not.
Yeah, exactly, Chris. A bit like what I said with Hamadson, this is more ideally the game to bring him on. Obviously, the luxury Hamadson has is even if he's busy, it's only because he's throwing himself left to right. He's not running around for 90 minutes like Wilf will do. And you can take him off after 60, 65 minutes, and you can put, well, he'll probably Winks or Skip, which disappoints me. But you can take him off and rest him and give him 60 minutes match fitness into his legs before we play Arsenal. And I'm sorry, but if one person in that dross of a team that was that played against Everton has any way of going, I didn't do too badly, Gaffer, was Samari.
Mm.
And I think he's warranted enough in the bank over the last 7 or 8 games that he has played to kind of go, I'm allowed one, ain't I, boss? You know what I mean? So
I think for me, yeah, like I say, in DD, let's put him back in and see how long we can get out of him. Sumari, I always liked somebody in midfield, and this is why I liked Hamza before he left. Somebody that's going to put the foot in and go, oi, I'm here. And can you imagine, and I'm sorry, bath time, but how we would love to see Samari absolutely take out Bruno Fernandes.
oh, mate, if you know what, if the referee blew his whistle and Samari just absolutely Eric Cantona'd him, I'd love him. I want an open top bus parade and to charade him around Leicester and give him the key to the city if he did that to Hernandez. If he just Crystal Palace fanned him like Cantona did. Oh, yeah, go for it. I'm all for it, mate. Let Samari just 2-foot him straight from the kick-off.
Yeah. We've got, it's a Man United massive. Rich is in as well. The last thing United want is a tough game. Rich and bath time, give us your predictions in the chat, because I'd love to see what score you think it's going to be at 90 minutes. Bath time, all I'll say is yes, he will be in the squad. He's in the squad. Rude's already come out and said he's in the squad. He is absolutely a fantastic prospect. But look, you don't get to play for Leicester until you're at least 25. So, I mean, if Rooney was a Leicester player, he wouldn't have made the breakthrough yet. We'd still be going, oh, he's not quite ready. No, I don't think so. So whether he will get any time on the pitch or not, I don't know. I think it's just Rude trying to placate the fans because he's such a shit manager. So I don't think you're going to see him. It probably means he'll play 90 minutes now. But yeah, please do stick your predictions in. But yeah, I mean, honestly,
he'll play hat-trick and then get benched again. Chris.
Yeah, well, exactly. If Samari, please, Bruno, if you're looking, not Bruno, what's he called, Samari? Bubakari, whatever I can never say that. If he takes out Fernandes, I will start a Just Giving page to have a collection for him.
Yeah, I would as well. Like I said, give him the keys to the city. Give him the free to walk at the town if he does that.
Yeah. Next 3 up there. First of all, before we get to the 3 that you've put in, the one that you've left out, El Canoes. He's been our best player for a couple of games. Reason for not putting him in?
Yeah, give him a rest and kind of quash the fire about Buonanotte at the same time. Let him rest, save Canoes for the league games, which with the greatest respect, as much as I love the FA Cup, and I know a lot of you in the comments and yourself probably as well, Chris, we love the FA Cup. Keep him fresh, keep him going, and kind of, like I said, it squashes that fire. You know, Buonanotte, he could have gone back. No, both clubs knew instantly that he couldn't go back.
Apparently, you know, like we signed Edouard and we had him for the season.
Yeah.
That's the same with Buonanotte.
We'd hit that minutes total, you know, with the whole Cannon scenario.
I don't know. I had been told, again, it's things about
the minutes
thing.
What did your postman's dog tell you, Chris?
Sorry?
What did your postman's dog tell you?
No, it was a certain journalist who works for a very works for the Athlete. Basically, it was Rob Tanner. Said that we'd gone past that point where they couldn't claim him back without paying us like we would have had to have paid Crystal Palace. But I agree. If you're taking El Canoes out, stick Buonanotte in.
Yeah, kind of kills
so-
two birds with one stone, Chris. He gets a rest and Buonanotte, you
Yeah.
kind of go, look, no hard feelings.
Yeah, no, that because they are very similar. So whilst it's nice to see them both playing, it's also, like you say, they are interchangeable. I mean, last week we actually were saying after we beat Spurs, wow, give Dakova Reed and AU another chance. Fucking hell, let's not make that mistake again. And I'm glad to see you haven't. I want to come to McAteer first of all, because Craig does not like McAteer. He could have gone to Sunderland.
I'm not fond of McAteer, but I'm not. Yeah, I'm not fond of him. I think we should have taken the £8 million offer for him. It was 8 to 10, depending on obviously I think how Sunderland did. If they got promoted, I think we'd have got an extra 2 million. I assume that's what the deal was we heard about. I personally would have snapped the hand off for it. Yeah, pretty much, Bath. I'll even pay for the bus myself. And I'm not playing a 31-year-old or anyone else out on that right. He's a right winger. We haven't got, we haven't got anybody out there that can do that job. We haven't got Ricardo Pereira back, so we can't get him in. It's not like he's available for fitness. I'm not playing Canoes for the reasons I gave. So, and if I'm not going to put Buonanotte out there because I'm not going to lose, I'm not playing Canoes full stop. So I'm not putting Buonanotte out on the right because if I was to do that, I'd have to put Canoes in the middle. So through lack of options, Chris, why not? Just in case an injury happens to the first team players against Arsenal and we need someone to go out there. If he gets 90 minutes under his belt, he's at least going to have some match fitness to step in.
Yeah. Bath Time said, Lola, I knew that was coming. Everyone hates Bruno. Shows he's a decent player. Shows he's also the biggest wanker in the league, to be honest with you, Bath Time. Not saying he's not a good player, but he absolutely, honestly, he argues with the referee over him tying his boots up. The guy, if you run past him and you fart, he falls over holding his head, crying like a baby. The guy, honestly, if he was to break his leg tomorrow and be out for the rest of the season, I'd have a party. That's how much I hate that guy. Yes, he may be a good player, but it's the other rest of the package that comes with him. The guy is an absolute wanker. And it's not because we don't hate him because he's a good footballer. We hate him because he's a whinging crybaby that cheats. Simple as that. Let's have a look. Please don't play. And our Bath Time, I know, is a great fan of Winks. Please don't play Winks, Brad. Leave him nice and comfy on the bench. Have you seen him recently, Bath Time? The only thing that Winks would do if Winks was in the team would be to play a pass probably to Bruno to score a goal against us. So it's that's why you want him in. I know you, Bath Time. Because Bruno's going to score against us. He always does. God bless him. It's known as the Robbie Savage effect. Yep, totally. Look, mate, he's not our player. If he was our player, I would be defending him to the hilt. Of course I would be. Totally 100% agree with you there. Now, Mavididi you brought back as well. You see, I like McAteer. I've got to say, I don't think he's ever let us down. He shows more attacking spirit than Dakova Reed and AU and some of those. So I like the fact that he's in. I also like the fact that, let's give Mavididi a chance. Bath Time said earlier, Amarin had him at Porto or Sporting, wherever it was. He thinks they might come in from in the summer. Tell you what, if you're coming in the summer, as good as he was last season in the Championship, he's yet to prove himself in the Premier League, has he, Brad?
Yeah, he's been very... He's probably been the best sort of example of Leicester in general. I've always joked ever since I can remember that Leicester are very consistent at being inconsistent, aren't they, Chris?
Yeah.
I know we've won divisions outright, like a Premier League, a League One, and a Championship. Trying to remember.
You'll never seen that. You'll never seen that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you wouldn't want to some degree, but hey ho,
Yeah.
there we go. But what I mean is, Chris, on a regular basis, Leicester are usually the team that are so inconsistent. It's the only thing they're consistent at being, and that's Mavididi typifies that this season. We moaned that he wasn't playing games or starting games. He got a few good appearances off the bench. We cried for Mavididi to play. And then he did his best Jose Perez, and we forgot he was playing some games. Some games I said he suffered with Harvey Barnes syndrome, where people realised he had pace and threat, so the manager put 2 or 3 men to mark him, or at least were in the zones to mark him and stop him being that creative. But I just feel like you got to remember as well, Chris, we signed him with Fatawu. And I think we all thought, well, Fatu was 19, Mavididi must be 20. Mavididi's 26. So we're not talking a young spring chicken that's got a few years to develop. He really has to find his way in the Premier League. And if you can only offer opportunities so much, Chris, and this is it, really. He's not going to get many more.
No, I mean, I like to think of Mavididi as the new Damari Gray. Is that you bring him on as a substitute, he plays really, really well and terrifies the opposition. You put him on to start the next game and he's looking crap. And then you go through that whole cycle. The thing with Mavididi, what he needs to do is learn the fact of, have a look, before you walk out on the pitch, Steffi, have a look what colour we play in. And then realise that the people in the same colour shirts as you are actually your teammates. And that you are able to pass the ball to them. Don't be scared of passing the ball to your own team. Try it once or twice. It might actually help us. Daka up front, no Vardy. I agree with you on that. I think Vardy, like I said, you lose with Vardy the fact that, Vardy's not on the pitch. That's good. He's not necessarily past his sell-by date, but he's definitely past his best before date. Do you know what? I'd be tempted to fucking stick Edouard on the pitch. What have we got to lose? No, hear me out. Come on back, Brad.
You know it's going to be bad and desperate when you start a sentence with the words "hear me out."
Look, the strikers we've got. Ayew.
I'd rather start with Ayew. I'll stop you right there, Chris. I'd rather start with Ayew over Edouard. So next.
No, please.
I'm going to have a
No. Come back, Bradley. Come back.
I'm here in spirit. I'm just having some flavour there while I listen to this.
He's having a wank, people. That's what he's doing. Vardy, we're relying too much on a 38-year-old who is past his best before date. I'm sorry. We need somebody different up front, but who can score? At least Vardy does, at least when he gets the ball or the ball is passed to him, scores goals. Daka, let's be honest with you, has only scored 1 goal. You could argue that he's not been playing or he's brought on with only 5 minutes to go. Ayew, to be honest with you, bring him on in the second half to disrupt the game. If we're under pressure, or we're actually somehow, good God, it's never going to happen, but somehow if we were in the lead, he'll break the game up, he'll get us free kicks.
Yeah.
What the hell is wrong? What we're going to lose? I'll tell you something, Daka ain't going to score. And I agree with not putting Vardy in. Daka ain't going to score.
He is.
So why not, with McAteer and Mavididi crossing the ball in, why not stick Edouard in there with his big head to nod the ball in? All I'm saying, because I tell you something, this match does not really matter. Whether we survive or not will have absolutely zero benefit from this game.
I don't want.
We've seen we stuck 6 past who was it, QPR, and then we went on and lost the next game. So even if we do beat Man United, what a good confidence boost that is. No, it won't make any bloody difference. Stick him on.
Maybe because this team won't play again after this game.
I'm sorry. I
will tell you why I don't.
I'm not arguing. I agree with the fact that you've not put Vardy there. I 100% agree with that. But
I will
go
tell
on,
you
defend
why.
Daka.
I will tell you. I will defend Daka because he can't defend himself. Bless him. First of all, I don't want us putting balls into the boxes. I have got four fast players on that pitch in the attacking forward in McAteer, Mavididi, Daka and Buonanotte. What I want them doing is I want them driving into the box so that Mavididi can get to the byline and cut it back across the 6-yard box and 6 to 12-yard area for one of them to smash it in. I want McAteer cutting in on his foot and trying to bend one in the top corner like Fatu would do or did for us when he's played. So I don't want balls going in the box because it does not work, Chris. We haven't got the capacity of players to go in there. We do not have a tall midfield to load the box up with. We do not have, players that can leap in the air and get a good head on the ball. So you've heard, Ant, but he was offered back to one of his favourite boyhood clubs. I wouldn't turn it down if I was in a situation and roles were reversed. If I was a Wolves player and Leicester inquired about me and I was told I could go, I'd be pushing the move through. So we'll see. If you truly believe from your source that's what it is, fine, mate. That's your opinion. But I'm telling you this now. It'll be the same with Akoli and Buonanotte's bust up. There's no way Ruud van Nistelrooy stands for it and picks them on the bench, let alone get them on the pitch again if they're that bad. So we'll see. Maybe you are right. Maybe your source is true. But I just don't want to see Vestergaard on there, mate. So if you can think of another centre-back, and if you say Justin, I'll do what I'll do to Chris. I'll punch you both in the throat. I just don't want Vestergaard.
About phase.
But yeah, I mean, Hadrit's put it there. I'm going to punch you, Ant. You've just done that because I said I'm going to punch. I'm going to punch you, Ant. I'm just going to punch you. Yeah. I love you, Ant, and I'm going to punch you. But no, seriously.
I love Ant. He's such a shit stirrer, but I love him.
He's an ass, and I hate him, but I love him at the same time. But Hadji Stephen said it there. He has for someone who's 6'8", your love child Vestergaard has no aerial ability in the opposition box. He can head a ball to clear it out of danger, Chris, but he can't compute his brain of how to bullet header it in like Steve Walsh and Matt Elliott could in the 90s.
He has scored a goal. Was it last season he scored or this season? I mean, it came off his bollocks, I must admit. But
yeah, he didn't even mean it, Chris. That's how bad it was.
Alalitum Joe says, why would Chris like to think of any new Damari Gray? Thinking of Marmite soup is better. I didn't want to, but unfortunately, that's who Mavididi reminds me of. He's better than Damari Gray, I honestly think. And how did Damari Gray get on in Saudi? Oh, he didn't. He's coming back.
Yeah,
but I'm going to say, we do get rid of
a player that was sold to Bayer Leverkusen for 1.6 million, and they were kicking him out the door to Everton 6 months later, and then Everton realised they fucked up when they got him for free.
But with Damari Gray, there was a good player in there, but he just hid it very well. And like I say, he'd come on as a sub, do very well. You put him on the start, and he was crap. Can I just say though, Brad, if we were to get hammered here, and then Ruud was to walk, good news is, of course, Steven Gerrard's back and out of a job. I knew that I'd shut him up, Ant.
Look, I'm not fond of ex-players walking into jobs that are higher level than most people.
You love a bit of Steven Gerrard, don't deny it.
I'd rather take a cactus up my rear end.
Clipping that.
There you go. You've got one for the clip channel. There you go.
Oh my God. Sorry. Right. That's thrown me. Did we finish with Daka?
No. Back to Daka. The reason I'm picking Daka is I don't want Jamie Vardy. I want him to be the impact sub player now. He's got to be the man you put on with 70 minutes on the clock, no matter the state of the game, whether it's dead and buried or we're looking to get the second goal and win it, or we're 2-0 up and you just want to cause their defence more misery, which is unheard of for Leicester this season. So it's not going to be the last one I've just said. But either way, we need to be ready to pass that torch on in the Championship next season to a different striker. I would, again, a player that's proven he's better off the bench than starting to kind of match your Mavididi vibe, Chris. I would then do, if I'm putting Ayew on the pitch, it's taking Buonanotte off, who's been a little bit frozen out, hasn't really been consistent. Getting them 10 minutes isn't doing much for him. Yeah, Scott, we've discussed this. You're a little bit late to the show, mate, but yeah, they're in the squad. It doesn't mean much. Most teams put youngsters on the bench for a cup game. I would be putting him on 70 minutes, 65 minutes for Buonanotte. So I'd rather crap in my hands and clap than play Edouard. So my other option is Daka, who is pace. And guess what, Chris? If that one goal he scored for us, we played the ball forward, told him to run onto it. He muscled the defender off it, burst through on goal, and smashed it into the back of the net. Now, I don't know if Rude watched the game like this, because obviously our board clearly did, because they didn't feel the need to try harder to get transfers in. I know Rude defended them the best he could, half-heartedly in his press conference today, but they all must have watched the games with their hands over their eyes, because if they'd have paid any attention to 3 out of 4 of Everton's goals, if they actually played to that man's strength, he might actually put the ball in the back of the net, because Everton did that, like I said, 3 out of 4 times, and scored them all. You play the ball through that back line against Manchester United and tell Daka to run and he gets on the end of it. Like you said, Chris, if he doesn't use his brain and actually hits it first time, he tends to score. It's when he's got time to think that he messes it up. We all remember Leeds last season when he had time to think. That was dangerous. But look at the options he got. Like you said, Kate, you finally found an image. Like you said, Chris, with the shambles shit on offer like that. That was quick work by you.
Thank you.
Which again, quick work is probably why you call your wife your ex-wife, but we won't dive into that one. But again, with the
she's a prickly character, I've got to admit.
Yeah. But again, like I said, with the shite we've got on offer, Chris, we ain't got much options. It ain't like I'm picking Daka and we've got bloody Ian Acho still here and Lukeman available or someone like that. We've got him or Edouard to go up front. I know who I'm picking.
But all right, I mean, on what do you base? And look, I'm not going to say Edouard's my favourite player. You know my feelings towards him generally. My attitude here is, what have we got to lose? We haven't seen him play. Let's be honest, he's only done about 10 minutes. All right, you could argue maybe it's his attitude in training. I mean, what he tends to say, I think what Rude has said is, we've got 3 number 9s. I can't have 2 number 9s sat on the bench. So maybe that's why.
Or maybe Rude went kind of the opposite to what John Terry did for Soyuncu when he went, why the fuck's he training with the under-23s? John Terry did that with Soyuncu, didn't he? Went, why the hell is he playing with the kids when he's clearly one of our best centre-backs at the club and got him back in the team? Maybe Ruud van Nistelrooy turned up and went, the fuck is he doing here?
We'll never know, will we? But I just think, he couldn't do any worse than the strikers we've got playing.
I mean, Chris, you know what? I'm in that state of desperation. Sure. Why not?
Yes.
Let's put our 5'6" midfield and cross balls into the 6-foot lamppost and hope for the best.
That time, I really hope this guy doesn't start, because he was man of the match in the last round. He's a really, really good player. I was impressed with him. Right. Who do you think is favourites to win this game with Sky Sports betting?
I'd probably say they're going to go penalty shootout, knowing both teams' form. But I would say it's obvious, yeah. I mean, the draw is still a lot better than us. That says a lot, doesn't it?
And that's, I think, at 90 minutes. And that was today at 4:43. Do remember, when the fun stops, stop. Gamblerware.org if you do need any help, and betting is not an answer to any money problems. We have to say that if we put any betting up. I mean, looking at that, then why are we bothering turning up? Let's just give them a buy, shall we? But
Well, yeah.
You said about predictions.
Yeah.
I'm going to need a score prediction from you. People, please, in the chat, please get your score predictions in. Paul Stevenson has gone Manchester United 3, Leicester City 2. To be honest with you, if that is the result and they put up a fight, I'd be thankful. Bath Time went 3-1 to United, and Rich went 2-0 to United. Is there any way, apart from by playing devil's advocate and what they call it when they predict the other team's going to win, and so I can't remember what Steve used to call it. Is there any way you can see a Leicester win?
There is, Chris, because genuinely Manchester United have been that terrible. They have genuinely been that terrible, and I know in the league they're still better than us, but that ain't saying a lot for Manchester United. When we're sat here annoyed that we're 12 points off Manchester United and we're not sat 10th or 11th, we're sat 7th, 18th. Because that should be the reality of it. If you're 10 or odd points behind Manchester United, that's because they're 6th and you're 10th, not they're 15th and you're 18th. There is definitely a way for Leicester to win this game. Unfortunately, I just don't see Ruud van Nistelrooy doing that and playing a way that is capable of beating this awful, underperforming Manchester United team.
A Manchester United team that Ruud van Nistelrooy got performing for a couple of games, although you could easily say that, well, 2 of his 3 games were against Leicester. So, if he wasn't winning them.
And we've all seen how the manager bounce effect lasted at Leicester, didn't we? Because it lasted exactly that many games for us too.
Yeah. So I would look at this and think, well, actually, Ruud's going to have some insider information here. Do I believe you can actually do anything with that insider information? No, to be honest with you, I don't. I think he could have somebody could go into the dressing room before the game and go, Ruud, here's the starting lineup, here's the tactics, and he couldn't get a win. Because we know he'll go Faze in the back line, we know he'll go Winks in the midfield, he'll probably play Vardy up front. It'll just be the same old. And unfortunately, Prashan's gone 2-1 there. I have to say, I can see it being 3-0 United.
I'm going to give you 2 predictions, Chris.
Here we go.
I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you a never going to happen prediction because it's Leicester, and I'm going to give you my actual prediction. It's never going to happen, but it'd make me feel better on the inside if it did happen. I'm going to go Manchester United 0, Leicester City 2.
I'm not even writing that down. I'm just writing your name down for your next prediction because I know you don't believe that one.
4-1 Man U.
And
honestly, I'm at that point where I think the one comes from a Harry Maguire own goal.
That one is the point that I got in the prediction league last week.
Oh. So
you beat me in the prediction. That you got 2, mate.
I did.
Yeah.
You stupidly went for a draw on a game where I thought we'd both get a point on, and you and Wayne went for the same result.
Yeah, but anyway, look, kicks off 8:00 tomorrow. Join us for the watch along from 7:30. We'll all have our umbrellas up because it's at Man United, and we know it even leaks into their press conference room, doesn't it? You're not with us for the watch along, Brad. You're having a very enjoyable evening with your good lady. Hope you have a good time. But you are back with us Monday evening at 9:00 for our brand new show, Talking Balls Late Night, when we're just going to have a silly hour and a bit. There's going to be a couple of competitions just for fun. We've got awards to give out, and we're going to have silly things about naming teams with watch it. It's going to be a laugh. And you are doing the Tenable quiz, aren't you, every week?
I certainly am, mate. It's going to be quite fun to do. I'm looking forward to it. And
so it's the most players who got offside. Is that the one that you like?
Yeah. Adebayor.
I'll never forget that.
I'll never forget it because if the question been written properly, I might have had a chance.
Dear. So it's going to be like we've got at 6:00. We'll have the weekend preview along with match ratings this week, and then we're going to have this at 9:00. Ant will be joining us, and Carl, they'll be going off Leeds versus Leicester every week, and then Brad will be coming in. Look, Brad's playing against himself. Surely he can win.
I'd still draw.
Well, at least you won't lose. You know what I love about you? The fact that I won't do quizzes, as in the fact of take part, because I'm shit at them. You know you're shit at them, but you still keep going.
I'm a sucker for a punishment, mate. I am to quizzes what Tottenham. Yeah, I am to quizzes what Tottenham Hotspur are to the Premier League. I will find a way to come third in a 2-horse race.
Yes, you will. You do. But God love you for keep trying. God loves a trier. So your dad tells me. Yeah. And don't forget, guys, if you want to listen to us rather than watch us, all the shows apart from the watch alongs are available on your favorite podcast platform. Brad, thank you very much, mate.
Yeah, it's been. Oh, yeah. I thought he was going to say more than that. Yeah, it's been a pleasure, mate. It's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed it. It's been more fun than some of the post matches we've had to do recently.
Yeah, yes. Well, I think you've got out of that tomorrow.
Yeah, a shrewd move by me, wasn't it?
Yes, I think it was a very good move by you. There's no flies on you, are there?
No, there's definitely not, mate. But I tell you this now, spoiler alert, when the prediction show comes back around, a proper prediction show, you can write this down now, Chris, as God is my witness. Arsenal 5, Leicester 0. I'm going back to that, Chris. It worked against Spurs. I'm going back to it now. I shall never shock. And I'll tell you what, if we beat Arsenal, I will never, ever not predict Leicester to lose 5-0 ever again this season.
But, well, I will talk to you before then because I won't be here for the next prediction show. I'm going to be sunning myself in Lanzarote. So,
well, some good for you.
I'm looking forward, mate. I'm looking forward. But I'll speak to you before then anyway. But thanks a lot, Brad. Have a good weekend. All the best to you and Jess tomorrow night. And I'll see you on Monday evening.
See you Monday, mate. Looking forward to it.
Take care, buddy.
Take care, mate.
Thanks a lot to Brad there. Details about how you can follow him are below in the description. Also details below in the description as how you can become a member. $1.99 a month. That is all. Excellent value. But please do subscribe. Please like the channel. And 6-1 Jet. Probably not going to be far wrong, to be honest with you. You've not said who to, so I presume your 6-1 is to Leicester. Of course. That's what it would be. So click that notification bell. You'll never miss another show. Smash the likes and subscribe. Both of those are free of charge and really do help the channel. We've just smashed through the 4,000 mark. Not the biggest, probably not the best, but we have a bit of fun here, as we will be doing on Monday evening. So I'm going to be back tomorrow, 7:30 for the watch along with Wayne. I'll be here Monday at 6 with the weekend review. That's got a new format now, because at 9 o'clock we've got Talking Balls late night edition. Thanks very much to everybody that's been in the chat and to the mods, and I will see you tomorrow night. Remember, don't do anything I wouldn't enjoy. Leaves it wide open for you. See you tomorrow night. Good night.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network.
TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.